we're going to keep working on volume. We're going to do a little bit harder problems. So here we go. So we need to remember our formula for volume is that length times width times height. And when we do length times width, that turns into the base that it's sitting on. And then we're just repeating those levels. So length times width times height, or that base times height, which is length times width, then times it by the height. Either one will get us to the same answer. And we also should remember that these are units cubed because we have 3 dimensions, the length, the width, and the height that we need. We're fitting 3D objects inside of it. So our first one, we have 7.8 is the length. So we're finding the volume, length times width times height. So our length is 7.8, and we're going to times that by the width of 3.2. And we're going to times that by the height of 4.5. So we have more than one step here, so we'll just start at the beginning. 7.8 times 3.2. So go ahead and do this work here. Just make sure you're doing this with me. So 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Here's our placeholder. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 2 is 23. So find the sum of these two. So 9, 4, and 2. But we have 2 decimal places, so it's 24, right? This is like 8 times 3 is 24. Our answer should be close to 24. Using these estimates to make sure we're getting an answer that's reasonable is a really good strategy. So now we have 24.96, and we need to times that by 4.5. 24 and 96 hundredths. We do not need to line up our decimals, right? We're multiplying, we can crisscross our decimals. When I add those zeros to try and line them up, we're actually making it harder, and we tend to make mistakes when we do that. So crisscross our decimals is okay when we multiply. So 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 3 is 48. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Hey, here's our placeholder. Now we need to multiply by 4. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 9 is 36, 37, 38. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So now we're going to add these up. So 0 and 0 makes 0. 4 and 8 is 12. 4 and 8 is 12 again, plus 1 is 13. 9 and 1 makes 10, and 2 more is 12. 9, 10, 11. So we're just like 25 times 4, that's 4 quarters is $1, so that's 100. So my answer should be close to 100. So I can see I have 1, 2, 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 112, right? That's close to 100. Now our label is yards cubed. So this right here, so we did length times width times height. Yards cubed because it's 3-dimensional. So even when we have those decimals, we're still just doing the same exact formula. We just need to make sure we get our decimal in the right spot. So our next one, we have 12 and 1/4 is our length. And our width is 5 and 5/7. And our height is 8. So we need to make these all improper. So 12 times 4 is 36, plus 1 is 37. It's not 36. What am I doing? 12 times 4 is 48, plus 1 is 49. How about that? So 49 over 4. And we're going to times that by 7 times 5 is 35, plus 4 or 5 is 40 over 7. And we have 8 over 1. Now the nice thing, I know sometimes fractions seem hard, but the nice thing when we do fractions is we just need a top and a bottom, a numerator and a denominator to cancel out. So there's a lot of stuff we can do in this problem. So we can look and see. So 1 can't get any smaller. So let's look at the 4. Is there anything that the numerators that 4 can go into? So not the 49, but 4 can go into 40. I can simplify 4 and 40 together. They both have a GCF of 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 40 divided by 4 is 10. So now we can look, the only other one we can make smaller is the 7. So we're looking to see, and the only factors of 7 are 1 and 7. So we're looking to see, can 7 go into any of these? And it can go into 49 7 times. And 7 divided by 7 is 1. So look, our denominator is now 1. So our denominator is done. 1 times 1 is 1, times 1 is 1. So I could have done the 4 and the 8 if I wanted to as well. I usually try and pick the biggest number just because that's going to make it get smaller. I can times by 8, times by 40 is a little bit trickier. So I usually try and simplify the biggest numbers that I can. So now I just have 7 times 10 is 70. And now I need to times that by 8. 7 times 8 is 56 with a 0. So our answer, 560 divided by 1 is 560. We have, oh, one of these says, sorry, these should all just be inches. Inches cubed. So they're all the same there. So 560 inches cubed. So when we have our fractions, right, when we multiply with decimals, I have to do one at a time, like, right? But when I do fractions, I can line them all up and just go across and cancel whatever we need to. So let's try another one of those. So 6 2/3 is our length. So 6 times 3 is 18 plus 2 is 20 over 3. We're going to times that by 1. The length, 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5 over 4. And we're going to times that by the height. So here's our base and the height. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 1 is 16 over 5. So I'm looking here if 3 can go into any of these numbers, which it cannot. So 3 is probably going to stay the same. So let's look at our 4. 4 can go into 20 and 4 can go into 16. So we can pick either one. I'm going to pick the 16 this time because I can count by 20s a lot easier than I can count by 16. So I'm going to simplify my 16. So I'm going to look at the 4 and 16. Their GCF is 4. So divide by 1, divide by 1, or divide by 4. Sorry, 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. It's a lot easier to count by 4s than 16s. So now I'm looking at my 5. Oh, look, 5 and 5 are going to cancel out into 1s. So we have a much simpler problem now than timesing by 16. So 20 times 1 is 20, and then 20 times 4, right? I can count by 20s, 20, 40, 60, 80 is my numerator. 3 times 1 is 3, times 1 is 3. So now we just have this improper fraction, so I just need to finish by doing 80 divided by 3. So 3 goes into 8 2 times, which is 6. 2 left over, bring down a 0. 3 goes into 20 3 times. Oh my goodness. 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. 2 are left over. Now, they gave us fractions, or I could bring down a decimal and I can keep going, and this is going to keep repeating. It's going to keep being 20 and 18 over and over again. But it gave me fractions. I should give it my answer back as fractions. If it gives fractions, you give fractions back. If it gives decimals, you give decimals back. So we have 2 left over out of 3. So our answer is 26 holes and 2/3 of a foot cubed. So we could fit 26 1-foot cubes and a little bit of another one, 2/3 of another one inside this big rectangular prism here. Now, this last one is a little bit different. If we look at it, we can see the length, but we don't know the width. We have the height, and we do know the entire volume. So as we write out the formula, we have length times width times height, didn't want to put my line there, equals volume. So we know the length is 16, so we're just going to plug in what we know, substitute what we know. The width we don't know, so we're just going to keep it W. And we know the height is 9, and then that's going to equal the volume, which we know. So the volume is 360 inches cubed. So we're trying to find W. So again, we want to get W by itself. So it's connected to 16 by multiplying and by 9 by multiplying. So we're going to divide both of these. So we're going to start and we're going to divide by 9. So if I divide by 9 on this side, I have to divide by 9 on this side. So we're going to do 360 divided by 9. So 9 can't go into 3, but it goes into 36 4 times. 360, and we're bringing down that 0. Now it's not 4. Answer's not 4. 9 times 4 is not 360. 9 goes into 0 0 times. So now we're left with 16 W's equals 40. So again, we want W by itself. We're looking for W. It's connected to 16 by multiply. So we're going to do the opposite, is divide by 16. So now we're doing 40 divided by 16. So 16 can't go into 4. So 2 16s is 32. I think that's all we're going to get because there's only 8 more to get to 40. So we have 32 here. So 8 left over. We're going to bring down that decimal. So now we're 80. So let's write if it went into 42 times. So definitely 4 times. Oh, there was 8 left over. There's going to be another 8. So that's an extra one. So I'm thinking 5. Let's try 16 times 5 is 30. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, exactly. Bring our decimal up. So it's not 25. That decimal needs to go up. So W equals 2.5. Now our label is just inches. This one's not inches cubed because we're not doing the volume. We already have the volume. We're just looking for this straight side. When I measure from here to here, it's a distance of 2.5 inches. So our final answer is W equals 2.5. So we're just setting up our problem. Divide by 1, divide by the other because they're both times. We have to do the opposite to both sides. So go ahead and make sure you have all those problems filled out with the work.